EGM Network.
Treasure Coast Connector. Connecting residents and businesses of the Treasure Coast. And here's your host, Ellen Contreras.
Welcome to Treasure Coast Connector. I'm your host, Ellen Contreras. This episode is partially sponsored by Libby Weissman and her team at Senior Transition Navigator and Luxury Homes of the Treasure Coast. They work with seniors and their families, helping them navigate transitions with a lot of services like downsizing, decluttering, packing, moving, relocation, and more. And for a free consultation, give them a call at 772-783-2800. Or visit seniortransitionnavigator.com or luxuryhomesofthetreasurecoast.com. Now, April and May are important months to bring awareness to child abuse prevention and mental health awareness. And joining me in the studio to discuss these very important topics is Matt Markley. He is the CEO of Hibiscus Children's Center. And joining him is Reynaldo Ray Navarro, and he's the COO and licensed mental health therapist of Hibiscus. And they're going to give us an update on all the amazing things that are happening at this nonprofit as they are celebrating their 40th year. So welcome to the show. Welcome back, and I'm glad you're here.
Thank you, Ellen. We're happy to be here.
Yes. And Susan wanted to be here as well. We had a seat for Susan, but apparently she's a little under the weather. So
she sends her regrets.
Yeah, but you know what? Next time, all right?
We are poor substitutes.
No,
but we'll try harder.
No. And so now, before we start talking about Hibiscus Children's Center, what I'd like to know is a little bit about your background, and then what made the two of you want to join this amazing foundation.
Age before beauty. Okay.
There you go. No, he's like, I don't know. Just kidding.
Well, I've been worked in community mental health now for about 40 years. A little more than that, I guess. So I'm getting up there. But my wife and I decided that I had managed community mental health centers when I was in Ohio for a number of years. So my wife and I decided that we wanted to leave the cold Ohio weather and come to Florida, but we were still in our working age of our life. And so I started looking for a job, and Hibiscus, the CEO job, was open, and I applied and was very fortunate to be accepted. To be hired as the CEO, and I've been with the organization now almost 7 years.
Wow!
So, and it's changed my life too. It's been an awesome experience to work for Hibiscus.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And how about you, Ray?
For me, I'm native of Florida. I grew up in Okeechobee County. Started working with at-risk kids at a Department of Juvenile Justice program, and worked there for a few years. And then about 15 years ago, I started working as a counselor, as a mental health counselor for Hibiscus Children's Center. As a part-time counselor, moved to full-time, and then eventually came here to Vero to be the director of operations for the group home that we have here in Hibiscus and Vero. We did that, and then now for the past, seems like a lot, but 5 years, 5 years, I've been the chief operating officer now.
Wow.
So
you just rose all through.
I have been promoted through Hibiscus, and it's a great organization. So we do a lot of various, a lot of things that we do for the community.
That's wonderful. And of course, there is retirement time, but apparently from what I understand is that you never just leave. You can always just go back to like volunteering if you ever decided to retire. Yeah. That's what I heard happens to everybody that works there. Yes. So just so you know, you might not get a golden watch. You're just going to keep on keeping on,
Well, he's so old too, he's really close to retirement,
No,
not
still a baby.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So now, Child Abuse Prevention Month. We are in the month of April, and that's one of the focuses for this month. So what would you like to talk about? What do you want to share that people that are listening and watching should know? What can they do?
I think it's important for families and the community to know is how do you report? How do you report a case? Of course, 911 is always the case, but there is a phone number that is strictly for abuse cases or neglect of kids. and it's 1-800-96-ABUSE. And again, the number is 1-800-96-ABUSE. And I think it's good for the community to know where to report. Yes, and like I said, you could report it to 911, but you know, report the cases of abuse. People sometimes think abuse just as physical cases, but it's also neglect. And as you guys are aware, the community now sees more families that are homeless, and the children are suffering.
Yeah.
You know, suffering the neglect because they don't have a place to stay, food-wise, and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, it's not just physical; it's also mental as well. Emotional, mental, all of that. Yeah, that's just really tough. And then, of course, there's also 211. Is that a good number for resources?
It's a good number for resource. We are in the 211. Our community mental health program is there. Our supporting families in crisis is there as well, and our parent as teachers program is in 211.
Yeah. Yeah, and I love that because not only are you working with children, but you're also trying to help the parents.
Yes.
Because there are plenty of parents that maybe are going down that road of not being there for their children. They want to be, but they're overwhelmed and stressed. And if you can get them at that right point where you can help them, and then it just turns everything around, right?
Yes, correct.
So,
prevention is more important than intervention, although intervention is important. But if we could prevent child abuse, we can prevent a whole host of other issues that kids have to deal with after that. So, you know, we sometimes think we have to, if we don't have enough money, we have to place the money where kids are being hurt, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But if we spent more money on prevention, these things wouldn't happen. And we have a number of prevention programs that we operate at Hibiscus. So, Ray, you want to talk a little bit about those?
Well, you know what we're going to do, actually, believe it or not, in the second half, we're gonna get into that. But I like the segue as I'm looking at the next question about May. Okay, can you believe that we're like right around the corner from May? I'm still celebrating New Year's. I'm just saying.
Life is flying by.
Oh my goodness! Yeah. And May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And we were talking about adults feeling stressed and overwhelmed, and sometimes that can get them down the road of not paying attention to their own mental health. Right. So what would you like to talk about that?
For Hibiscus provides a community mental health program where we do a lot of family counseling. And sometimes people just think, okay, let's do counseling for the child. But a lot of times when you create a treatment plan as a therapist, most of the problems derive from a family component than just the individual cases of a child. Child is misbehaving in school. There's probably something going on internal in the family. So family counseling is vital for the treatment of the child as well.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And 40 years, 1985, you got your start, Hibiscus Children's Center.
Hibiscus started from the vision of a single lady in Martin County by the name of LaVon Tilton, who had seen a news article or written an article or seen an article on TV or whatever, and of abuse of a child, and they didn't have any place to place the child. And she said, "Where did the children go?" Well, there was no place at the time on the Treasure Coast to place children, as I understand. And so she got together with a band of her friends and volunteers, and they opened the Hibiscus Shelter they incorporated in 85, opened the Hibiscus Shelter in 89, and Hibiscus has provided 475,000 safe nights for kids since 1989 because of one lady's insistence that there be something to help children who were abused, neglected, and couldn't be removed from their homes because there was no place to place them.
Yeah, that's amazing. You were a baby,
and I was.
Were you even?
I was born in '84.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, well,
he just made it.
Yeah,
he just made it under the wire.
That's hilarious. And I graduated high school in 1986. I can't believe it. So.
Oh, I'm not going to talk about when I graduated.
Goodness gracious! But I mean, it is wonderful that there's a place for the kids to go. So before we go to commercial break, we're going to go into more detail of what you guys do at your nonprofit, but just give us an overview of like what some of the things that you do, and then we can give a little teaser on that, and then we'll go into it after.
You can do the overview now.
Well, I think the most important thing for folks to know about hibiscus, and I know we may cover this later, but if a child is removed from his or her home because of abuse or neglect, and the state of Florida cannot find a family or a friend to take care of the child, willing to take care of the child, they call Hibiscus Children's Center. And they may call other agencies, but I think they call Hibiscus first, because we are a premier provider across the state of Florida. We provide mostly on the Treasure Coast, but we also accept kids from all over the state of Florida.
Oh,
if
that
we have an
I
open
did not
bed,
know. Wow.
if we have an open bed, because we are a statewide certified child welfare provider. So children just aren't here on the Treasure Coast; they're also everywhere, and there are enough places for children. Enough places like Hibiscus to what we do. So that's the most important thing that we do. But we also provide a number of prevention programs that Ray's going to talk about. And we have a very robust community mental health program. How many therapists do we have?
We have about 20.
20 master's level therapists that go out in the community. They do not make the people come to us. We actually go out in the community and provide services in their own home, their natural environment.
I think that's even better, because then they can see what's really happening in the home and maybe offer even more individualized suggestions and care and guidance.
That's why we do it. And it's less expensive for the client. The client doesn't have to drive, doesn't have to make an appointment. And we have sometimes we have a high no-show rate. People for some reason can't know. Well, they very low no-show rate here because the therapist goes right to the home.
Absolutely.
So it really works really well.
Yeah. And then before we go to commercial break, if you could just give the phone number and the website, please, for those that are listening on iHeartRadio and the podcast.
So the website is, you go to hibiscuschildrencenter.org, and at that website you can see our prevention programs and also our community mental health program.
Okay.
Our direct phone number is 772-340-5750, and the extension is 170. That is for our community mental health program.
Okay, wonderful. And with that, we will take a very quick break. We have a lot more to discuss. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Evergreen Media is your go-to for podcasting. Business owners, boost your brand by educating clients with your own show. Just show up. We handle everything else. Get your custom video podcast on Facebook, YouTube, and more. Start today at egreenmedia.com.
At Sunshine Furniture, our 35,000 square foot showroom is filled with the largest selection of in-stock coastal furniture on the Treasure Coast. Dining and bedroom sets, occasional tables, sofas, sleeper sofas, love seats and chairs, and all the latest styles and colors from Tommy Bahama, Lexington, Hooker, Riverside, Universal Coastal Living, Four Seasons, Braxton Color, and Capri. We're also the outdoor furniture experts and have hundreds of styles of any patio furniture you need, including a gallery of Berlin Gardens and Pollywood. We specialize in fire pits, outdoor rugs, umbrellas, and replacement cushions. Right now, we're having a spring sale with lots of great markdowns and discounts on everything you need for your Florida home, including all pictures, lamps, and accessories half price. Sunshine Furniture, 1295 US 1 in the Publix Plaza, Vero Beach. Don't forget to visit our outlet store directly across the street, filled with lots of brand name closeouts and sale items. And visit our website at sunshinefurniturecasual.com.
What's on your list? Ice cream? Laughing so hard it hurts? The way the sun feels on your face? For one child, a simple list of brilliant things becomes a lifeline, a way to bring hope to his mother, and maybe to himself. Every brilliant thing is a funny, heartfelt journey through life's ups and downs, where you help tell the story. Now playing on the Waxlack stage at the beautiful Riverside Theater. Get your tickets now at the box office or riversidetheater.com.
Welcome back to Treasure Coast Connector. I'm your host, Ellen Contreras, and I am with Matt Markley, the CEO of Hibiscus Children's Center, and Ray Navarro, the COO and licensed mental health therapist for Hibiscus Children's, or Reynaldo, as his mother likes to call him. Sorry,
okay.
I had to do it. I had to help out your mother because that's your birth name. But yeah, we spoke about at a very high level of some of the things we touched briefly. But now I'd like to hear from both of you about the different programs that are available for the children and the families.
So I'll begin with what Hibiscus is known for. So we have our two group homes. We have here a group home here in Indian River County. which is a 40-bed program that accepts kids from ages 12 to 17 years old. And like Matt said earlier, we accept kids from local, which is Indian River and the Treasure Coast area. And we also accept kids from all over the state of Florida. So we are always accepting kids that have been through abuse, abandonment, any kind of trauma. One of the things that separates us from other group homes in the area or in the state of Florida is our resources that we have and our programs that we have within our program. We have therapists that provide mental health counseling. These are therapists that are hired through Hibiscus and that are part of the group home. We have medical staff. We have behavioral health techs, house parents. So we have a very robust education support, career pathways coordinator. So we do a lot of career readiness for the kids. If we can keep the kids busy and if we can teach the kids at least to stand for themselves once they turn 18, and that's our main goal, is to do that. So that is our group home here in Indian River. We also have a supporting families in crisis program, and what this program is a child prevention program. What it does is it helps families that are going through an immediate crisis. We do provide some financial support, but we don't just do the financial support. We do some advocacy. What happened? How did the crisis begin? So we try to look at the crisis, the deep. We do a deep dive and see if we can prevent the crisis from happening again.
Yeah, and I like that because sometimes accidents happen. So God forbid there's an electrical fire in somebody's home, and now it's like, oh my gosh, we've lost everything. But then sometimes things happen, the loss of cars or jobs or money based on bad decisions that are made. It's the little decisions that are made on a daily basis that, put us where we are today. Sometimes it's wonderful decisions, sometimes not so much. So I do like the fact that you kind of like look into and do a little digging and then help them.
Oftentimes, I think we find there are other areas too. The main crisis that brought them to Hibiscus is maybe the main crisis, but it's masking other issues that the family needs to deal with. You know, perhaps alcoholism, drug addiction, unemployment, underemployment. It's tough to live out there today. It's tough to live on your own, let alone raise kids. Everything is very, very expensive, and that causes other issues.
No, that's very true. And then I want you to now talk about the different ways in which the public can help, right? Because we talked about like before that there's money that comes in all different ways to you, but sometimes it's individuals and local businesses. So I'm just going to look at the camera and go, this is the ask. I love to ask. You don't ask, you don't get. I'm from New York. That's how I roll. All right. So what would you like to ask from the community?
You want to take it on me? Well, I am just going to be shameless, and I'm going to ask people to donate to Hibiscus.
Okay, sure.
Because this year, we're generally a financially sound organization, but we are having some financial struggles this year for a number of reasons. And we need donations, and it's very easy to donate. We have to raise about $3 million a year every year to stay in business.
Wow. We
do get funding from the state Department of Children and Families, but it's not enough to cover our costs. So we are continually fundraising, and it's not easy to raise $3 million a year every year, you might imagine. But we do it. But we're really struggling this year. So if someone would like to donate, they can go on our website, hibiscuschildrencenter.org. And it's very easy to donate. Makes it very easy to donate. So, we always need volunteers. You can talk about that.
So that was the other thing is, sometimes people have time. So if somebody has time on their hands, what can they do? Because they might say, I don't know if I'm equipped to help. But talk about the different volunteer opportunities.
So here in our group home here in Indian River County, here in Vero, we have volunteers that help as simple as with setting up for a birthday party. We have volunteers that are retired teachers that can come in and tutor some kids in English, reading, math, science, whatever your expertise is, we can use. We have 40 kids at any moment in time, so these 40 kids can need some extra help, extra support in the time with us. So we as simple as that. We have volunteers that come in as that do dog therapy. We have that as well.
Dog therapy.
Pet therapy.
Do they bring their own pets?
They bring their own pets, and so we do that. So in any kind of area field that you are already retired, we have somebody that does financial skills with the kids, sits down, creates a budget. So a lot of the kids
Shows them how to open a checking account. The kids have never done.
Yep.
Yeah.
Opens a checking account for them, gets them started,
Yeah.
Yep.
I do remember when I was a little girl, maybe 8 or 9 years old, asking my mom, we were online waiting for the teller.
Yes.
And I said to her, how will I know what to do?
Yes.
And she one day, when I was old enough, actually showed me how to write out a check. But I was really little and I was like, am I going to be able to do this someday? How does one? Then my little sisters, I was a teenager and I had 2 more sisters, and I put, the card in the ATM and then money came out, and that was a magic card to them. It was super cute. I had to explain how that worked. They wanted a card immediately.
Of course.
Yes.
Well, it's kids don't always know that.
Yeah.
They don't learn that. Parents sort of forget to teach that. And it's very important. It's obviously, a lot of our kids are going to be on their own when they turn 18.
Yeah.
And so we have to help get them ready to be on their own, to face adulthood by themselves, perhaps. So.
Yeah. And I do like the fact that you teach about careers and job readiness, because it's not always about going to college. There's amazing jobs that you can have without going to college. And a lot of local employers are realizing that too, which I really appreciate, because I used to be in recruiting and staffing, and it's not always about a 4-year degree, honestly.
Right.
There's a lot of ways now to learn things.
Well, we promote kids getting their GED, their high school diploma, or their GED. But kids come to us sometimes 2 and 3 grade levels behind. So we have to help catch that. Our job is to help catch. That's not really our job. Our job is a safety and protection, but it has become our job over the years to help catch them up. And we offer, you mentioned careers, but we offer all college tours. We take kids on probably half a dozen college tours every year. So we do promote, other careers.
Yeah, take them on job site tours.
We do that. We have a career program that does that.
Oh, good. I love that idea. And then before because we only have a few minutes left, so give your web address, your phone number, how to contact you for those that are listening.
So again, the website is hibiscuschildrencenter.org. Very simple. You can find our prevention programs, our intervention programs, and also our group homes. You can find all phone numbers directly and extension numbers on the website, which is the best way to reach us.
Yeah, I love that. And I know we were talking about events, or ways, rather, I should say, to help out. Oh, we have 1 minute. You have an annual event I know has passed. But what is the annual event, just so we can talk about it to get people excited for when it comes back around?
Well, we have a number of annual events, actually. In Indian River County, we have a Blue Ribbon Luncheon, which just occurred. We have a Wine and Dine, and then we have a gala in November or December.
Okay.
So that'll be coming up in probably December, I think. Could be, November, December.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have 3, actually.
Wow.
That's on the website, too.
Very good. So people can go to the website and then
they can buy tickets. They can,
Yeah.
And if somebody would like to talk to me.
Corporate sponsorships. Which camera? Corporate sponsorships.
Well, if someone would like to speak to me about a corporate sponsorship or a donation, my phone number is 740-649-3734. And I'd be happy to explain to people our financial situation and why we could use help from the public.
Yeah, I think that's wonderful. I think what you do is amazing. And I think this is your 5th time. You've been on the show several times. But Cindy is telling me to wrap it up. Can you believe it? So what I want people to know also, in addition to Hibiscus Children's Center, Libby Weissman and her team, they are with Senior Transition Navigator and Luxury Homes of the Treasure Coast. And they do amazing things to help seniors live vibrantly and independently well into the 100 plus. It's amazing what they're doing over there. 772-783-2800, seniortransitionnavigator.com, luxuryhomesofthetreasurecoast.com. And with that, thank you both for being here.
Thank you, Ellen.
No, thank you,
I just love having you guys on, doing so much good for the community. With that, my name is Ellen Contreras, host of Treasure Coast Connector. Until next week, I miss you already.